But there was no stopping Ott Tänak. A flawless weekend from the Estonian and his third win of the season to close the gap on championship leader Hänninen. For a man who openly admits he's still learning to rally on tarmac, 2 successive wins on the black stuff was a remarkable achievement. So here are the final standings. Tänak winning by a margin of over 2.5 minutes from Brynildsen, who equals his best finish in the SWRC, while Juho Hänninen finished 5th after restarting under the Super Rally rules. In terms of the championship, that means Hänninen's lead over Tänak is cut to just 3 points, whilst Prokop's third-place finish means he still has a chance for the title. But the man with all the momentum going to Spain is Ott Tänak.
Winner in France, you must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, it's been quite okay weekend for us. Yeah, the battle finished already on the 3rd stage when Hänninen got the puncture. So after this, it was quite easy run for me. Yeah.
With Hanninen's retirement, it helps you with the championship no end.
Yeah, for sure it will be big battle in Spain, and for sure we will go there and to fight for everything. So it will be interesting. Yeah.
And Tänak will hope he's the one left to enjoy the champagne after the final round in Spain. Coming up after the break, we find out some of the innovations behind the Mini John Cooper works after its stunning first season on the world stage. And we speak to Russian youngster Evgeny Novikov about his bruising weekend in Spain 2009 in our classic onboard series.
I also tried to do this flat, but it was not so flat, so we went a little bit off the trajectory and hit the metal barrier.
Welcome back, with Dani Sordo taking over from Carlos Sainz as the focus for the passionate Spanish fans. The local driver's fight at the front in France for his new team Mini will have raised expectations to a whole new level. The long-awaited return of the iconic Mini brand in Italy finished with a promising 6th-place finish for Sordo. It was a hint of what was to come, but it's on tarmac where the new car has really excelled. With 2 podium finishes on its first 2 asphalt rounds, the new John Cooper Works machine is already the real deal on sealed surfaces.
The car is quite big, and I think for tarmac is better, no? And the rear wing is really heavy, and the back of the car is stay a lot in the road.
Well, there's obviously limitations on how much you can, modify suspension points, move them, etc. So the Mini Countryman is a very good base to begin with.
The inherent abilities of the chassis are very, very good. You know, I think the guys have done a really good job to achieve a podium on our first tarmac rally with Danny. Maybe the engine we need a little bit more, but it's it's an ongoing process, and we have to continue to push. You know, now we've got the car to a stage where we know we can fight in tarmac.
Speed is already there on asphalt. The next step is to find more gravel pace.
In tarmac, you need to looking for the suspension, but you don't need to looking for the spin, the wheels. But in gravel, you need to be for all things, and also for the traction in the slow corners. And for the traction, you need to work a lot in the testing and in the suspension, and is I think the thing we need.
While Sordo's taken the plaudits for his 2 podium finishes, Chris Meek has shown terrific pace, but had the lion's share of technical problems.
These events are every bit as much as a test as, as out there trying to get results. So, we knew we were going to hit some glitches along the way. Unfortunately, I've hit 3 in the trot, but okay, all these are simple problems and being put to bed. And yeah, as long as we don't have the same problem twice, eventually we'll iron everything out.
The John Cooper Works has certainly made a big impact on its opening 4 events. Here's Mini's technical director, David Wilcock, with a closer look.
This is a John Cooper WRC car. It's a product of 18 months test and development, and now we're a few rallies into our 2011 campaign. I'm going to show you around and point out a few distinguishing features which separates this car from the rest. The first thing you'll notice, it's a 4-door car. If we work our way to the back, what we have is a very powerful rear wing. for our aerodynamic device. It's computer simulated and designed in order to achieve our aerodynamic targets and aero balance performance. If we work our way down, another key feature is the twin exhaust. This is a carryover from the standard Countryman. It actually aids us in terms of our exhaust diameters and packaging and installation to position the pipes around the very, very confined differential area and exit the back in 2 pipes. And from that, it does bring with it a very distinctive sound, which I'm sure you've heard out on the stages. And now I'm going to show you under the bonnet of the Mini John Cooper Works WRC and just point out a few key features of engine and packaging. What we have here is an engine developed by BMW Motorsport. It's a 1.6 turbo direct injection engine, which is a part of the global engine regulations for this year. A few striking features is the general layout. Obviously we have a dry sump tank here, very vertical radiators because the Mini has a very short overhang, so packaging is a real challenge. The standard road car, for instance, has its turbo mounted up on the top of the cylinder head, and for obvious reasons, weight distribution and CG, all the masses are mounted as low as possible in order to improve our maximum performance potential. Inside the car, what we have, if we start with the roll cage, it's a safety structure inside the standard Countryman shell. And one of the most striking features, which is an innovative method of roll cage design for the Mini, is the door bars you will see actually go outside the A-pillar here. And the A-pillar is tied in down the centre of the door cross, but the beauty is that all the tubes are in compression in a side impact, and that disperses the energy through all the A-hoops, the main hoop, in a nice uniform way. And this is a very safe method for designing the cage. If we switch to the driver cockpit area, in terms of the driver area, we try to keep it as simple as possible. The information we give the driver is minimal. What they actually get is a gear display, so they know what gear they're in. We give them alarm lights, which highlights problems, and to get the information for that problem, the co-driver will see it on the main screen here. And then we have a shift light, so that when the RPM reaches its target engine speed, he will shift gear. What makes the Mini different to the opposition is we have a column gear change, opposed to the conventional stick system, which is usually pivoted off the tunnel. And then the last thing is the handbrake we have here. Again, never too far from the steering wheel, so the driver to operate the handbrake, his hands are never off the wheel for too long. All the items we've discussed now is the reason why the Mini has been so competitive, and if development continues the way it has been going, the future looks promising for the Mini.
The Minis will be back in action in Spain, as will Evgeny Novikov, who's switching from a Ford to a Citroën DS3 for one event. The Russian youngster hasn't taken on the Rally de Catalunya since 2009, an event he won't forget in a hurry. We've joined him here on the epic El Priorat stage.
Left one, 40 long, 40 long, open 0 long.
I think with the front wheel is a problem. The crash was on a fast corner uphill. It was tightened a little bit at the end, and I also tried to do this flat, but it was not so flat, so we went a little bit off the trajectory and hit the metal barrier. So the damage was quite big, and we couldn't proceed on that day, but the car was repaired that night, and we started with the Super Rally on the second day.
So Novikov was back for more Catalan stages on Sunday morning. This is Evgeny on the opening stage of day 3, the 16-kilometre Rally de Canyes test.
Right too short, in, right too short, in, left one short, right one hard, long, tightens caution, one hard, attention, right one hard short, cut, left two.
Me. No, it's not possible.
Sure.
Sure. I just try to move the car. And on the second day it was quite the same problem. It was a corner and tightens, and I came too fast there when it was tightening, so also went off, and the same metal barrier, and we didn't start. So it's very important the pace notes in such kind of things. So which corners are short and when they are tightening. So of course I will improve such things.
More on the now mixed surface Rally de Catalunya later in the show. We're getting back to the Support Championships after the break to bring you the action from the WRC Academy in France. And after his first Academy win in Germany, we speak to Irishman Craig Breen about his championship challenge and his hopes for the future.
The perfect opportunity would be to win the Academy and step onto the SWRC, which I think is the perfect ladder, really. But for now, everything is in the back seat, and we need to win this bloody Academy.
The incredible sweeping bends of the Rally Catalunya could have a crucial impact on the WRC title race. It's winding down too in the inaugural WRC Academy season. The last round in France was vital for the championship hopefuls. And what a year we have had so far in the WRC Academy. Estonia's Egon Kauer proved himself to be the model student, taking 3 wins out of 3 and carrying a 100% success record into round 4 in Germany. But that is where his luck ran out. After threatening for so long, Ireland's Craig Breen finally took his first victory in the series, and that has blown the championship wide open. This is how it looked coming into round 5 in France. Breen just 26 points behind Kauer. The battle for WRC Academy honours is now a 2-horse race. Run over just 2 days, the Academy drivers take on all the day 1 and 2 stages that the WRC cars have to tackle. In France, we were back on tarmac, and Craig Breen was confident of another victory.
This is proper tarmac rallying now. A lot more flowing, quite high speed. Obviously, the organisers have placed some metal poles to stop you cutting on a lot of the corners. So a lot of aspects of this rally are quite tricky, but it's yeah, it's a very good rally and I'm feeling good.
While championship leader Egon Kauer, openly admitting tarmac is not his best surface, has been doing some testing on the black stuff in the hope he can match the pace of the asphalt specialists out on the French stages.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite good. Did some learning in between. Visited Italy. Quite smart guy. Taught us some driving on tarmac, and we got a lot of confidence from there.
Let's get straight into the action then, and unsurprisingly, as we saw in Germany, it was Jari Lemesh who made the strongest start, immediately setting the pace. The Spaniard took the opening stage victory, opening up a 2.6-second lead over Northern Ireland's Alistair Fisher. Fisher is no stranger to asphalt, having grown up rallying on some of the world's toughest tarmac stages in Ireland, and he was looking for a strong result in France. The surprise, however, came from inside Breen's car. He and co-driver Gareth Roberts could only manage 9th fastest through the first stage, nearly 9 seconds off the pace. Clearly, with some work to do, the Irishman got his head down and quickly found a rhythm that would prove unbreakable for the remainder of the day. He went on to take 6 stage wins out of 8, building up a 25-second advantage over Lemesh. Also having a good day was Jose Suarez. After his 4th place in Germany, the Spaniard was going for one better, embroiled in a battle with Fisher for 3rd. But after another flawless drive, it was Craig Breen who held a commanding lead at the front of the Academy class at the end of day 1. The Irishman was following the script: get to the front, stay there, and keep the championship alive.
We just found a very, very nice rhythm, and everything's working really well. I put a big emphasis into preparation for this one, and the recce seems to have really stood by me. It's just been a really good day.
Well, Craig made it safely to the end of the day. His championship rival Egon Kauer did not, and off on stage 3 meant he retired and left his mechanics with some work to do.
Egon, it was a tough day for you here in Rally France. Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, tough day. Lots of waiting after we had this misfortune on stage 3. We were going pretty well until that